E boom, boom, boom. There we go. Again and again. Poetría challenge. Uh, Different setup today. This due to the fact that I have very little time now to make the videos on a daily basis and on a weekly basis. Um, I don't know if this will be the setup for the rest of the videos, but it is certainly a helpful setup. One that allows me to continue doing the videos and doing them in a faster fashion. Um, if you've read the title of the video for this week, uh, September 7th was the day that this video was supposed to come out on. It'll probably be on September 7th or September the 8th, don't know. But for this week, I decided to take a little bit of inspiration from the movie Seven, uh, specifically the Seven Deadly Sins, which is a broad topic, but whenever I think about the Seven Deadly Sins, my mind always goes to the movie Seven. So the images from that movie, especially from the intro and from the scenes involving the crimes from, the movie's villain, they always come into mind whenever I touch on this topic. Now, with that being said, another thing that I try to apply to this poem is that I wanted to write it in 7 verses. So I think I accomplished that mission. You guys let me know. I didn't count them properly. But with that being said, the poem for now is called Seven Deadly Sins. It might change in the future if I decide to go back to it. But yeah, this is the poem. Seven deadly sins cometidos a diario, and the world keeps going round and round, forcing us to question our morals, religions, and spiritual forces. Boom, punto. Um, as I mentioned, super inspired by the Seven Deadly Sins as a whole. While I was writing it, as I mentioned, the images of David Fincher's Seven came about often. Um, I think I wrote it in 7 verses. I think I did that. Um, and again, I didn't mention it earlier, but another thing that inspired me heavily was the fact that since we're living in such a fast-paced time, um, we barely get to reflect on the sins as a whole. We're constantly being fed information from all sides, and we barely get time to reflect on anything. So, sure, the main inspiration was the Seven Deadly Sins as a whole, but also the fact that we barely get to reflect on them. The fact that we barely get to reflect on greed, on sloth, and all these things. Um, I'm not a religious person, but I was raised Catholic, and I just see these as things we should avoid doing. You know, I myself sin, if I could use that word. I myself often sin with gluttony, and I consider it in the sense of me eating way too much and getting fatter and unhealthier each day for the amount of food that I eat. Uh, I'm working on that, of course, trying to get better at that. But, you know, the point that I'm trying to get across is if we could at least reflect on the seven deadly sins and pick one of them that we at least commit often, I think we could better ourselves as individuals and hopefully as a whole in the long run. Uh, for me, it would be gluttony in that sense. I could be healthier. Uh, I could eat a little less. Uh, and I think for many politicians and our so-called leaders, greed would be the biggest one that they should practice. The biggest one that they should reflect upon. Sorry. Um, but yeah, that being said, it was a short poem. but one that I hope makes people think or reflect more on these 7 things that we often see happening but barely get time to reflect on. So, that being said, let me know what you think about the poem. Uh, Take on the challenge yourself. Write a poem inspired by that topic. Uh, like this video, dislike it if you want. Subscribe if you like as well. And that being said, Poetría Challenge. We're out.